Akile Canyon, candidate for District 6 City Council, and I'm disturbed, and I had to make this video in response to one of my opponents, Maria Scruggs, because it's just about that time. The sheets have to come off, and these things have to be exposed. On August 6th, I can't even call them teenage because the youngest one was 14 years old. 3 black boys were killed by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department. They were illegally chased, and chased to their death led to a fiery crash and killed Jimmy Goshey, Keontae Brown, and Dejarae Thomas. And it's the same kind of murder we see a little over a year later, because we saw this same exact murder to Dominique Battle, Laniya Miller, and Ashaunti Butler, 3 teenage black girls that were chased and left to drown by Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies on March 31st of last year. And similar to what happened in the case of the 3 girls, the Sheriff's Department, along with their corporate media and the Tampa Bay Times in particular, they got to work slandering these 3 boys, their families, and the entire black community. And they justified murdering 3 teenage black children because of stolen cars, alleged stolen cars. And when is that the case for the white community? For the value of a car to be prioritized over that of a child? That only takes place when the state is killing black children, when the police is killing black children. They get to justify themselves because of a crime, something that they define as crime. Because to me, the crime is not a stolen car. The crime is the murder of 3 teenage black children. And the crime is not of a stolen car. It's the theft of an entire community, an entire childhood from black children. The crime is police on school campuses. The crime is gentrification. The crime is police violence on our community. But I want to read the specific comment that came from my opponent, Maria Scruggs, just earlier today, that twists the words of mother of Jimmy Goshey, Shalonda Marshall. I watched the video of Shalonda Marshall, and she's talking about her son, Jimmy, who was killed by Pinellas County Sheriff's Department. And the entire time, she is defending her son from this narrative, this disgusting, slanderous narrative that was put out by the corporate media. She is defending her son the entire time, saying her son did not deserve to die. She knew her son. He was an amazing black child, and it's something that the black community already knows. She's defending her child and his legacy because this media with the Sheriff's Department is in the process of trying to convince the entire world that 3 teenage black boys deserve to die. She had to defend him. And Maria Scruggs releases this horrendous statement and twists the words of this mother, and I just want to read what she said. It says, listening to Shalonda Marshall accept responsibility for her son Jimmy Goshey for making the decision to steal a car that cost him his life. I can't imagine what it is like to lose a child. I can't imagine what it would be like to lose a child as a result of her actions. What I know without a doubt, if we as parents, leaders, children don't begin to accept responsibility for our life challenges, we have no one to blame but ourselves. I'm going to stop there because the rest is unimportant. Life's challenges. That's a very interesting thing for Maria Scruggs to say. Life challenges that are imposed upon the black community by a social system. How is the black community supposed to be held responsible for a social system that imposes the worst kind of violence on a daily basis? A social system that has an economic base in the enslavement of African people, the genocide of African people. How is the black community to take responsibility for that? That is not on our shoulders. And it is a crime for Maria Scruggs, the police, because that's who Maria is. Maria is the police. She works for the Department of Corrections. That's the police. She's a cop. And she has come out against the black community and black children, and she is a part of the same narrative of the Sheriff's Department and the Tampa Bay Times, saying that a black child deserves to die and that a black child is worth less than a car. That is her narrative. That's what she's pushing out. And this is the lie she twisted of Shalonda Marshall, who was sitting there defending her child for the world. Because this whole entity, this whole state apparatus is in the process of trying to drag her son down and to tell her that she is not a good mother. And Maria Scruggs ain't new to this. This is not the first time she has attacked an African mother. Because this is an attack. She attacked Kunde Mwamvita, the mother of Dominique Battle, one of the 3 teenagers that was drowned by the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department of last year. She attacked Kunde Mwamvita and said to this woman's face, as Kunde had to defend her child yet again, she says, all that hooting and hollering ain't gonna bring your daughter back. That's Maria Scruggs. That's someone who's trying to pretend that she is for the black community. Well, the black community is very clear that the police have never been for our community. We know that the police function as an occupying military force within the black community. We know that they are a part of the state and that their job is to continue this relationship of the oppression of the black community for the benefit of the white ruling class. We know that that's the function of the police. Maria Scruggs is the police. And Maria, you ought to be ashamed of yourself for twisting that sister's words around as she's sitting there fighting and defending her child. I am sick of it, and I am sick of you. I am up to my ears with it. The black community does not have to indict our children. We have every right to defend our children. What do white children do in the middle of the night? Who's asking them their questions when they're out doing and overdosing on drugs? We're the Pinellas County Sheriff's Department for the opioid addiction in the white community. Where is that happening? It's only the black community where we have to come out and we have to take responsibility for the state. My job is to go up against the system. My job is to inform the masses of people who their enemy is and to not be confused by white power and blackface. That's my job. My job is to fight for the families and for victims like Jimmy, Keontae, Dejarae, Dominique, Laniya, Ashaunti, Markel, Javon, Tyron. That's my job. Your job, Maria Scruggs, as a tool of the state and for white power, I have to say you're doing an excellent job. You're doing exactly what it is that you've been sent to do. But we're going to put an end to this job. You're not going to get a paycheck for going against and selling out the interests of the black community. You want to talk about take responsibility? That is the biggest crime that could ever be committed against the black community. And for all those who are not confused and who have been up to now, but the sheets have been pulled off and the line has been drawn. Vote on August 29th for a future for black children, for a candidate that is unafraid to go up against the system and unapologetic for defending the lives of these children. Because I don't need white corporate media to validate the fact that they were murdered by Pinellas County Sheriff's deputies. That is the legacy of the Sheriff's Department. They have always done this. Ask the mother of Laborio Felton, 18-year-old African child who was beaten to death and drowned by Deputy Howard Skaggs and was ruled as a justifiable homicide. And come out tomorrow, where we'll be in front of the Holocaust Museum to express our outrage at this murder and to show the Holocaust happening on the black community. We'll be out there 12 p.m. tomorrow, a press conference, myself alongside Jesse Neville, who's running for mayor, on a platform of reparations and economic development for the black community, as a way to end this legacy, to take down the system, the status quo that's responsible for these murders. Come out tomorrow and stand with the families of Dominique Battle. Stand with the families of Laborio Felton. Stand with the families of Dejarae, Jimmy, and Keontae. Be a part of defending the black community, not criminalizing and dehumanizing black children. Be a part of history, an earth-shaking people's movement that is going to win this election come August 29th. So meet us out there, St. Petersburg, Florida, Holocaust Museum, 12 p.m. Be a part of this press conference and stand up for the lives of these children. And let's make the line very clear. Maria Scruggs and all of my other opponents, you can't get away with this anymore. I am totally sickened. This is not solidarity with the mother of Jimmy Goshey. This is not support of the mother of Jimmy Goshey. This is telling the mother of Jimmy Goshey that she needed to have a better reign on her child or her child would still be alive. That's what that is. It's sick. It's twisted. Somebody dare tell you that if your child was in at a certain point in time in the night, your child would still be alive. I dare you to look a white mother in her face and say that, Maria Scruggs. But you can't. You won't. Again, come to the press conference tomorrow. Visit AkileForDistrictNumber6.com, JesseNeville.com. Learn more about these amazing platforms and learn about the people's movement that's going to crush the status quo. It's going to crush the system and expose all of its agents and draw the line even deeper, thicker. Make it very clear. Which side do you want to stand on? The side of the murderous Pinellas County Sheriff's Department, or the side of innocent black children who have had everything stolen from them? Every single dream and aspiration has been stolen from black children. If you were dropping your kid off this morning in St. Petersburg, Florida to these schools, you saw the police before you saw a teacher. Police cars all outside elementary school campuses, middle school campus, and high school campuses. Before you even get to see the administration, you saw police. This is the system we're in. This is the war we are involved in. And this is what we have to end. And what we do in the city of St. Pete reverberates throughout this entire country and around the world. Status quo doesn't stand a chance against the people's movement. Make sure you vote on August 29th. Vote with your mail-in ballot. And be on the right side of history, on the right side of the question, in unity and solidarity with the black community, through reparations. Thank you so much. Uhuru.